Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns. Please click that like button and that subscribe button. In today's video, we are going to talk about different funding options for you to finance your business, either a startup or if you have a business that you are bringing in some cash. But most of these lenders that I'm going to talk to you about today and the types of financing they have to offer are for existing businesses. But however, you can get a startup loan in some of these, okay? And this is the first one that we'll talk about. If you haven't watched my last video, which was yesterday I dropped, I talked about financing your business or funding your business with bad credit. And I gave you 5 different types of options that you could do to, or creative options that you could do to finance your business. But today we're talking about good or bad credit. It doesn't matter. Not guaranteed approval. Disclaimer, because I'm not the lender, but these are some of the guidelines. Okay. So small business loans, there is what you call invoice financing, business line of credit, or term loans. And they do have SBA loans out there too, not for the economic injury disaster loan, but for existing business or startup business. They're called the 7A loan, and also micro loan through the SBA. Okay. So say for instance, you want to go through the SBA. SBA do offers a loan amount of $30,000, which we call micro loan. Anything under $50,000, SBA refers that to a micro loan, up to $5 million. The term will vary, but you could get a term up to 25 years. And this is solely dependent or wholly dependent on how long you've been in business and your credit. Okay, the minimum credit score for the SBA, you need at least a 620. Now that's very different from the economic injury disaster loan. That is a 570, but that loan is for existing business that were in business during the pandemic. Okay, the starting interest rate is 5.5%. Like I said, totally different from the economic injury disaster loan is 3.75. The next type of loan is a business term loan. The business term loan is usually online lenders for short-term loans that could pay in a prepayment or repayment period in a short-term amount. That usually typically ranges from 3 to 18 months. You get up to $500,000 in these type of loans. The interest rate is kind of outrageous, is from 9 to 99%. If you happen to get, I call those a cash advances. You know, those high interest, not the 9%, but like if you get up to like the 20 something percent greater than the credit card APR, those are called literally cash advances, and they have short-term amounts that you have to pay. And typically you could extend the prepayment up to 10 years, but it all depends on your standing with that lender. Okay. Then we have the business line of credit. We know, I always say, and I'm a big advocate of, if you don't have to get a loan, which would be, I think should be your last resort, use credit card. Okay, business line of credit. And it's a revolving credit. And some lenders could give you a range up to $250,000. It's help you to managing your cash flow. Okay, invoice and factoring invoice loans. That's your cash advances. I say stay away from this, but if you really need it, if you're in a jam, you could also, this is one of the options, financing amount up to $5 million. Okay, so let's talk about who's lending. So we already discussed the SBA. You could get up, you know, it'll probably take them about 3 weeks to process your application. 3 to 5 weeks to process your application. You can get funded. Okay. It's low cost, but if you need it right away, it takes more time to get approval. And with SBA, they want you to fill out a 4506T form. They want your financial statements, taxes, and all that good stuff. So when you do that, they want a lot of information because it's a longer term loan, okay? You need a minimum credit score of 650. No, I'm talking 620, I'm sorry, for SBA, okay? There's another lender, I guess a funding option out there. It's called Credibility Capital. All the things that I'm mentioning right now is linked in the description section. Okay, and their estimated rate, they could get you a loan up to between 7 and 25%. Okay, you need a minimum credit score of 650. These are for people that got strong credit. Okay, 650 is a pretty good credit score, so that will be an ideal option for you. And it's good for people if you want a long-term loan because they have pretty good rates. Credibility Capital, what they have you do is ask you what you need and they shop it out for you, okay? It's an online term loan. Okay, it's all online. Funding Circle. If you're not familiar with the PPP, I think Funding Circle was one of the lenders that was out there doing the PPP loan. Their estimated APR is 12.8% to 36%. You also need a 60 credit score. It's for established businesses that are financing an expansion or refinancing debt. Another funding option is On Deck. I believe there were another one of the guys that were putting out the PPP loan, but their estimated APR is 9 to 99%, minimum credit score is 600. So a lesser credit score, but if you know credit worthiness, you pay a higher interest rate the lower credit score you have, okay? On Deck has lines of credit. The estimated APR is 11 to 61%. Usually those lines of credit, it has the shorter term like we discussed. You got to pay it back in 3 to 6 months or maybe 12 months. So you'll pay a higher note. Usually on those lines of credit, you pay your interest first, the first couple of payments, and then the rest of the payments go towards the principal balance, okay? It's simple interest, but they calculate it and you pay the interest off on the front end, okay? Blue Vine is another line of credit. They extend 15 to 78%, okay? Minimum 600 credit score, but it's for short-term borrow needs. You know, when I say a line of credit, usually it only takes them about 24 to 48 hours to fund you, okay? Usually they only want you to link up your business bank account. And all they're looking for is to see if you have some incoming cash, okay? And incoming cash and negative like bounce checks. So like I said, they're cash advances, you know, because they had the higher rate. But like I said, if you really need the money, if you're short, this is a funding option. Now, invoice factoring. I typically tell tell people to try to stay away from this, but it's out there. Invoice factoring is basically like a line of credit. They do have a higher interest rate. I think Blue Vine has the invoice factoring. Blue Vine has a invoice factoring, and they have a higher interest rate, and it's for short-term borrowing needs, okay? Usually if it's a higher interest rate or invoice factoring, sometimes they have lenders that do the daily payment, which is really sucky. You know, why would you want to do a daily payment or a weekly payment? You know, and then sometimes they have a monthly payment, but more likely it'll be a daily or a weekly payment for those invoice factoring. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the different types of loans. And so there you have it. Those are the different types of loans that you could obtain for your business. I have some video out there is managing your cash flow. I will link those, and these are those videos been up there for a while. If you're struggling to managing your cash flow in your business, you might want to take a look at that video, because that goes step by step of how you could create a spreadsheet for your business and figure out what type of, and it's just the basics of how you could manage your cash flow, what you need to look at when managing your cash flow. Okay, so let me know if you want to hear more about business funding options. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon.